Hi guys, welcome to this channel called Tech Concepts with Ume. Now the channel will focus on practical exercises as well as theory narratives about technology related concepts and tools. Now in our first module, we will be focusing on interacting with relational databases through structured query language, which is commonly referred to as SQL. Now, noting that the module will be focusing on databases, specifically digital databases, it's important that we have a working definition of what a digital database is. So in simple terms, we can refer to our digital databases as organized digital information stores, and they enable effective storage, management, manipulation, and retrieval of digital data. Now, just in case you stumbled on this channel and you're wondering why you should consider learning about databases or how to manipulate databases using the SQL language, I came up with a number of questions that can help you to reflect on whether or not databases, particularly digital databases, are relevant to you. Do you find yourself routinely having to enter the same set of data for different people? So take, for instance, that you work for an educational institution and that with each potential enrollee or applicant that approaches the institution, you need to collect uniform data about them. Then a database is relevant to you. Do you often have to store the same set of information in multiple places? Because you often forget where you have stored previous copies. If this is the case, databases are relevant to you. Do multiple people who you work with have to simultaneously access the same information as you do? If this is the case, databases are relevant to you. Do you intend to restrict certain portions of information to only a select few employees? Nonetheless, you still want other employees to access other portions of data? If this is the case, databases are relevant to you. Is your need to store information growing exponentially or rapidly, and as such becoming unbearably unmanageable? If this is the case, then databases are relevant to you. Is it becoming a burden to access specific information you want from a large data set? If this is the case, then databases are relevant to you. Now, note, when we talk about digital databases, they can broadly be categorized into two types based on how they store data. These two broad categories include relational databases and NoSQL databases. Now, for this module, we will be focusing on relational databases. Our relational databases store information or data is in a structured manner. Specifically, they store data in columns and rows. And they also have relationships with other entities. Now, with respect to our tables or entities. So that being said, one thing that's common to all relational databases, because we have a number of vendor products. These include Oracle, PostgreSQL, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL Server, and MySQL. Now, notwithstanding the particular vendor products that you ascribe to, the one thing that's common to relational databases is their use of the structured query language. And for this module, we're going to be dwelling on the structured query language, which means you will be learning the fundamentals about how to use the structured query language or SQL language to deal with relational databases. Think about the structured query language as the language that helps you to interface with relational databases, irrespective of specific vendor relational DBMS products that you adopt. If you're still not convinced about why you should learn SQL and how to use SQL to manipulate relational databases, here are a few reasons. Firstly, it is a universal language used for manipulating data stored in relational databases, notwithstanding the relational DBMS software that you adopt. We had mentioned the examples we have. Also, it is required for a significant number of job roles, including data scientist roles, business analyst roles, digital marketing roles, web developer roles, and database administrator roles. It's a very useful skill to learn for managing, manipulating, and making sense of your data, irrespective of your profession or its skill. So whether or not your profession is in a small sector or small industry sector, a medium-sized sector, or it's a large organization. Summarily, SQL enables the person to manage data, and data managed properly as well as understood can be thought of as power. Because when you are able to draw the right insights from your data, because you're able to manipulate it properly, then you will make the right decisions, which will propel your organization to the heights that they aspire to get to. Now, for this module, we will be using PostgreSQL for our practice of structured query language and dealing with databases. Now, PostgreSQL is an object relational DBMS software that enables us to create databases, manage databases, retrieve data we want from the databases, secure databases. One good thing about our PostgreSQL is that it's a free and open source software. But for that reason, you who will be part of this module will be able to practice alongside what we're doing, because all you need to do is go to their website and download, the .exe file, and you will be able to participate and carry out the practical exercises that we are going to be doing for this module. So that being said, this module will focus on the following areas. 1, creating databases and taking notes of some important command words that we will be using in our PostgreSQL environment. 2, creating tables and defining constraints. 3, inserting data into tables. 4, updating and deleting data in tables. Very importantly, querying data stored in the database. We will also look at privilege definition and access rights, keeping in mind that within organizations, everyone is not privy to the same data set. Some people will be able to access specific data, which, say, subordinates may not be able to access, or people who are not supposed to deal with particular information will not be able to access. So we will be looking at how to define roles to ensure that only people who are supposed to access specific information are able to access that information. Finally, we will look at programmatic access to PostgreSQL from Python. We must note that it is not in every instance that our databases are used in isolation. In some instances, we use our database alongside other developed applications, like a mobile application or a web application or an airline application. So we will be looking at how to access our databases from other programming environments. In this instance, we will be using Python. So I'm going to stop this video here, and I will see you in the next video where we will be discussing and practicing how we create databases. Thank you.